All I
I think absolutely. I think people's intentions are in the right place, but what they're doing
yeah.
is actually causing harm. Secondly, like I also know a lot of content creators who want to talk about mental health and all of that, but they're bringing in then professionals, maybe to do an
Mm,
Instagram live with or to collaborate with or something like that. And I think you can also do that if you actually want to like make an impact or make use of the following that you have instead of just
yeah.
like spreading misinformation in some way. So I think
Completely agree
that's
with you.
one way to go about it. Yeah.
Now, do we sometimes turn to content that generates negative feelings within us? Do we do that? Do you think that's like a common trait that some people have?
Maybe I feel like firstly, if you're relating with something, then maybe the content is also telling you about something that you might be going through. You're also wanting to
Hmm.
view that more because you're relating with it in some way. Maybe the experience that the protagonist or something is going through is also helping you connect with them in some way. So maybe that happens. Sometimes it's also just a space of being able to release the pain that you're holding on to, right? You might not have space in your life or relationships where you can actually express what you're going through. So maybe watching something or reading something which is heavy or intense can also be a great sense of release for some people uh, in some way. So
Right,
I think,
right.
again,
And
that's
it
a
can
very,
help us out.
sorry?
Right. It can help some people, you're saying.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
While
Now,
again, for a lot of people who are also coming from vulnerable spaces or who are very isolated, and again, like I said, don't have other relationships in their life that they can lean on to, it can also be a hindrance because you're getting deeper and deeper into another person's story or into something else, and sometimes also don't know how to get out of that then. So yeah.
interesting, very interesting. Now my next question would be, are we romanticizing real problems because of the onset of reels and whatever's coming on social media? Like sometimes we kind of want to have these issues, or like oh, it's cool to have ADHD,
Yeah.
or it's cool to be a little bit depressed. Sometimes people say that what, yeah, I'm depressed, dude, but they really don't know what they're saying because they've seen these. They want to feel like this.
Yeah, I think today again with the younger generation and our generation also having more access to these topics, I think everyone's finding a way to belong. Maybe in another generation there would have been something else that you needed to connect
Correct.
with your peers or something like that. And today maybe just um, going with what everyone is talking about or feeling like you need to belong in some ways, maybe one way of doing this by saying that I read this or I'm feeling depressed or just having a community that you can relate with in some way. So,
My now social media, of course, is like it's very prevalent. We're pretty much spending half our time on social media, if not all our time.
yeah,
Um, is that a good thing? How does social media itself affect our generation? Our mental health.
yeah. I think for me personally, it's been very beneficial. Like, for example, I think I'm able to reach out to more people. People are able to reach out to me for the work that I do and stuff. So that it gives you a platform to also express yourself. It helps you get again a sense of belonging or community, like I was saying, because again, maybe not a lot of people have those spaces in their real life itself. But at the same time, I think it can also become addictive and also create more isolation because today we have more access to online communities or online
Yes.
friendships and things like that. And that's not allowing you to actually put yourself out there, make the effort and go in a real life situation or make
Yeah.
real life relationships and stuff like that, which again can be addictive in some way and can create even more loneliness, can create even more harm. So I think there are definitely pros and cons of social media and the effect that it's having.
How do we regulate this? What is that one tip you could give us to actually like take time off from social media and try and interact with the real world, as you could call it?
Yeah, I think firstly, understanding that what in itself is drawing you to what is the fear that, if I actually go and put myself out there in a real life situation, will I not
Yeah.
be able to make relationships? So, what is the fear that is firstly stopping you from doing that? Secondly, maybe becoming aware that I'm using social media to regulate myself so much and it's becoming addictive and causing more regulation. So, just the awareness of it can help you reduce the amount of time that you're spending on the social media platforms itself. So also maybe creating some structure. I know a lot of people who have apps today that tell you how much time you're spending on Instagram and things like that. So like, if you're
Yeah.
spending like say 5 hours a day, try to reduce it to 2 hours a day and start off with that and see. So I think firstly the awareness of it. Secondly, what is making you stick on to these platforms rather than going out there and making real relationships. I think understanding these two aspects might actually be the first step. Uh, yeah.
How long do you spend on social media? What's your average screen time?
Uh, I think sometimes even I'm guilty of that because I also don't realize, I finish a session or I finish a conversation, and the first thing I do is I take social media and like I'm
Yeah.
like running through reels and stuff like that. So I think again, me just being aware that I'm spending too much time on the app sometimes helps, and sometimes honestly just deleting the app and getting back to it after a couple of hours or a couple of days helps me personally. So
I think
also, like I said,
no, go
putting
for it. Yeah.
myself out there and like meeting people actually in reality
Yeah.
and stuff like that, I think also definitely helps.
Definitely. I think my average screen time is like 5 hours, but it is also because of my job. It's like a
Yeah,
occupational
of
hazard for
course.
me.
Yeah, yeah,
But I try and limit myself as much as I can, as much as I can. But again, as you said, I just find myself. It's like muscle memory. I open my phone and the next thing I'm on Instagram, I'm like, hey, why am I here? I'll do something else. It's just so
exactly.
strange at times.
And you don't even realize you start off with, okay, I'll spend 5 minutes, and you're actually
Yeah.
spending like 1 or 2 hours on the app, and you don't even realize that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
It's really bad.
yeah.
I want to thank you once again, Roshni, for talking to me this morning to tell me more about social media, the effects, and how reels on mental health can be beneficial, but at the same time can be dangerous, right? Thank you once again. And what is your Instagram handle so that people can follow you and get some good professional content?
You. Yeah, it's called the subtle art of expression, but you can just say Raushni Khanna and like you'll find my page as well on
So
Instagram.
that's Raushni, Roshni Khanna.
Yeah,
Check it out, and of course you can get some proper professional advice, rather than people who don't know what they're talking about. And I want to thank you once again, and have a great day. And stay off Instagram. I guess I don't know.
thank you. I would also want to tell people, like you were saying, that, like I was saying, actually put yourself out there and also find other ways to regulate your nervous system in some way. Find other things
Yeah.
that make you happy apart from just being on Instagram in some way. It can be little things like doing some artwork or going and actually contributing in the society in some way, or cooking or anything like that. So,
Right.
some other little tips as well.
Perfect. I think I'll definitely try that out, and tell hopefully we have listeners who definitely engage that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you once again. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.